What's up, all? Dragged in the Sunlight, Widowmaker. And this album came out in 2012 on Prosthetic Records. Dragged in the Sunlight are a four-piece from the UK, and they play very, very crusty, blackened death metal slash sludge slash doom. With Widowmaker, there's just a feast of ideas being thrown around. Yes, it's very crusty, it's very ambient, it's very, very noisy. But there is piano on this record, cello, violin, and at times it sounds extremely psychedelic. And there's no track titles on this record whatsoever. There's just part 1, part 2, and part 3 of Widowmaker. And it's 41 minutes in length, starting with the opening track entitled Part 1, which for the most part is a guitar playing solo. And it's playing in a very calming yet haunting manner and at a doom speed. And it's accompanied by just this hum of ambience that's constantly tweaking in the background. And at times it sounds like an old film projector, and at times it's just making these very abrupt yet short-lived tweaks in the background. And as you listen, even at 14 minutes and 50 seconds in length, your imagination doesn't seem to, my imagination doesn't seem to wander off. I'm still staying on focus throughout this track with the numerous tweaks in the background and the manner in which the guitar is being played. And as the track progresses, piano will sweep in and then just disappear completely. And then violin will creep in and disappear completely. But as this track nears its exit, nears its last 4 minutes, the solo guitar, the violin, the piano, the ambience in the background all form together for a fuller sound that's still chugging along at that doom pace. And it has this very psychedelic feel to it. And it's just an amazing antidote for stripping away the built-up angst after working a long day doing grunt work. It totally just melts that all away. Like I said, it's very calming yet haunting and psychedelic, and just a great track. Part 2 of Widowmaker is quite a different experience. You immediately fall directly into this nasty combination of very crusty, misanthropic mixture of sludge and death metal. And I emphasize noisy. It's one of the traits of Dragged in the Sunlight that I really, really love about the band. It's so very crusty and just nasty and noisy, and a sound that's just so pitch black. And there's film samples being thrown into this track, into this very nasty sound, and they just get buried in the noise and the multiple layers within the sounds of this track. And at the 2 minute and 30 second mark, Dragged in the Sunlight manages to get even more filthy with the bass, creating this roaring filth of sound that leads us into this crusty combination of doom and death metal that sounds absolutely vulgar. And the vocals are this combination of a death metal style and this gore, grind, squeal accompanying it. And I can't express enough how much this sounds like hell. And at the 6 minute mark, cello creeps in as their sound gets even darker. And 7 minutes and 30 seconds into this track, briefly strips down to almost nothing, and then leads us into an entirely different, more stripped down direction for a less dense, although still multi-layered free fall out of part 2, and part 3 creeps in. And this is when it gets very psychedelic, in my opinion. And first off, the way the riffs are played, the way these doom riffs are played in part 3 are so sick. They're these huge, just very crusty, lingering doom riffs, but as they ring out, they do this quick jabbing of riffs, or this like speed picking of riffs before the next wave of massive doom riff sweeps in behind. And at the 3-minute and 30-second mark, the sound is completely stripped down to just bass playing these very nasty solo dirges. And at the 5-minute mark, the band all creeps back in as they begin building upward again. And at the 6-minute mark, it all comes crashing down. And guitar plays solo as it toys around with ambience. As the track progresses, the sound of this track becomes more and more tweaked as it dives in and out of what it is. It's constantly transforming, and that's where I get this psychedelic feel. The ambience is a beast all of its own. Noise is a beast all of its own. And the members of the band just changing style within this track really just tweaks my mind, and this is for sure the most dense mind fuck of an album that I've heard this year. It's extremely complex, and I love digging through all the layers, and this has so many layers to pick through. The opening track gives you a taste, and track 2 and 3 are an absolute feast. So if you're looking for something to just challenge yourself, and you like it crusty, ugly, dark, black, fucked off, and vulgar, this is definitely where you want to be at, in my opinion. Definitely peep this album out. It's an amazing mind fuck, like I mentioned. Check out the description box below where I'll have links to tracks for this album so you can peep it out and form your own opinion about it. It's Dragged in the Sunlight, Widowmaker, and it came out in 2012 on Prosthetic Records. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see y'all next time.